بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وارحم محمد وآل محمد كما صليت ورحمت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. We give praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala time and again for all the blessings and Iman and Islam and allowing us to continue to survive day in, day out. We can be thankful enough to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we, inshallah, make intentions to continue to better our understanding the deen and to spend or invest time in reading about Islam, about the Prophet ﷺ, in order to have better understanding of how this deen should be understood and believed by. It's not enough to be a Muslim, it's the beginning of a long, long journey. But it's very important and worth it to learn and to acquire knowledge. And among those vital knowledges is to know the biography of the Prophet ﷺ and how he handled things and how he managed the da'wah. That is da'wah management, if you want to consider this name. So last week we spoke about the intense time in Islam, very intensified when things moved from taking it cool and slow to confrontation and warfare. Confronting the Kuffar Quraysh, who were able to dig and have some alliances with the Kuffar who are non-Muslims in the community of Medina, and also try to seduce the Jewish community in Medina to support them in a bid to assassinate the career of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. This was really a wishful thinking and it didn't work because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is behind the Prophet ﷺ. And also Prophet ﷺ used wisdom and understanding and always love and his compassion to bring back and peace between those who were almost listening to the hypocrites. So as we said, hypocrisy, that is nifaq, did not emerge in the Meccan era. It only emerged in the Medina. And the reason in Mecca, you don't have to be a Muslim anyway. Muslims were weak and were not strong, were underdog, were looked upon as not a superpower or respected power or even fearful or dreadful side. But in Medina, the whole issue has changed. They became a powerful community, and not only that, a nation was born, and Islam has a say. Muslims were ruled under the Sharia, which is the real Sharia, and which is, of course, the Sharia for all time. Sharia may be misunderstood based on how we implement things, but Sharia was always and will forever remain Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But understanding of individual based on some issues makes the Sharia sometimes not conforming with how it should be practiced. But Sharia is always the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is the guidelines for human beings. Sharia, which is being misunderstood, which is considered everywhere now, even to mention Sharia as something that is troublesome, something that is scary, something that is negative to non-Muslims, to some communities. To them, I say from this place that Sharia is not what you think. Sharia is never been condemned in one thing. Sharia means a way of life. Sharia means path, linguistically. A way. So it's a way of life, a way of living, a way of understanding, a way of relating to Allah, a way of relating to people, a way of peacemaking, a way of living a decent life and dying a decent death in order to prepare for a decent encounter with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is all Sharia is about. It's not just cutting the arm or, the hudud. Many people today think of Sharia to be hudud. A criminal, when the crime happened, the sentence. That is not Sharia. Sharia is about dealing with people in business. Sharia is how you live with your family, your wife, inheritance. Sharia is the relationship between the ruler and the ruled, between the have and have-nots, the rich and the poor, community building, neighborhood watch. Getting out of poverty, building strong relationships, being nice to all human beings and humankind, regardless of their faith and their ethnicity, and it transcends all of this. That's Sharia. So if you fail to understand Sharia, that is your problem. It's not Sharia's problem because you are not understanding, you are ignorant about what Sharia stands for. That is your problem. But if you want to speak for Sharia, read first about Sharia and just the label Sharia watch and blaming everything for Sharia. So Sharia means path, the best way by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for humans' best existence and survival in this dunya. We're all surviving, trying to survive. If you want to survive as a Muslim, if you want to survive, then Sharia is your path and Sharia is your way. So this was the case with Medinan era, and of course, it's also witnessed the real clash between the believers and idol worshippers. Ghazwat Badr was the first, and followed by major other ones. There are small battles, but there are major ones. Ghazwat Badr, which Muslim won, defeated the non-believers, and then followed by the major one is Ghazwat Uhud, which Muslims started victorious. It began as Muslims having the upper hand. They were, winning the war until they decided to they advised themselves. When some of them did not conform to the commandment of the Prophet ﷺ, then Allah left them alone. لَقَدْ وَعْدَكُمُ اللَّهُ وَعْدَهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has confirmed and made His promise true to you. لَقَدْ صَدَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ وَعْدَهُ إِذْ تَحُسُّونَهُم بِإِذْنِهِ. When you were, winning the war, when you are taking them by the will of Allah. حتى إذا فشلتم وتنازعتم في الأمر, until you became weak, until you stop following the Prophet ﷺ, then weakness started to take root, and in the end you were brutalized and defeated, and Muslims ran scattered everywhere. And that tells you, when you fail to listen, when you fail to abide by the command of the Prophet ﷺ, that will be your fate. Just like the warriors, the battlefield failed to listen to the Prophet ﷺ commandment and they end up being defeated. Exactly, when you did not practice Islam, when you don't listen to the Prophet ﷺ, when you don't make him your source of information and correction and deen, that is how you're going to end. So that was very, very uncomfortable to many Muslims then and today. But that is the truth, that Muslims did not win that war in the end. They won, or they were in the realm of winning the war until they stopped to be abiding by the commandments of the Prophet ﷺ, and it turns around. One most striking point here about the lessons of Ghazwat Badr, which for the first time had angels involved in it. For the first time ever, the angels was involved in a war between the camp of believers and the camp of non-believers. But the point that Muhammad al-Ghadban made here, which is very striking and important, is al-malaika ajiza an tahqiq al-nasr illa bi amrillah. The angels are unable to make Muslims victorious. The angels by their own will cannot and could not, make Muslims triumphant in the war. It was Allah. So don't think that even though they are angels, even though their might and all what you know about angels carry and all of these, you should know as Muslims that without Allah's will and command, they cannot make Muslims victorious. So in the Quran, Allah says in Surah Al-Anfal, ayah number 12, Allah said, إِذْ يُوحِي رَبُّكَ إِلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ أَنِّي مَعَكُمْ فَثَبِّتُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make wahi to them. That's yuhi rabbuk. Not wahi has many forms. وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى أُمِّ مُوسَى. Allah said we revealed to the bee. Allah sent revelation to Moses' mother. Allah sent revelation to angels and to prophets. So wahi in Arabic means al-ikhbar bi khafa, revelation in secrecy, an information that you had in your mind in a very top way of secrets. So that is wahi. Ikhbarun bi khafa, something that you have understanding in a way that is covered, it's not overt. So, إِذْ يُوحِي رَبُّكَ إِلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, revealed or informed the malaikas, the angels, أَنِّي مَعَكُمْ, that I am right with you. فَثَبِّتُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, so confirm, intensify, help the believers. Help the believers to be strong. Help the believers to be on their right guard and ready to continue. So without Allah's help, this could not happen. And another, now.
How do you spell
Wahi?
Wahi?
This is Wahi, al-Wahi. Alif Lam Waw Ha Ya al-Wahi. So Allah Ta'ala said, إِسْتَسْتَغِيثُونَ رَبَّكُمْ فَاسْتَجَابَ لَكُمْ أَنِّي مُمِدُّكُمْ بِأَلْفٍ مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مُرْدِفِينَ وَمَا جَعَلَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بُشْرَى وَلِتَطْمَئِنَّ بِهِ قُلُوبُكُمْ وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. This is Surah Al-Anfal between ayah 9 and 10. So Allah said, reminding the believers, remember when you were asking Allah for help, and then Prophet ﷺ was asking Allah that, God, we want you to help us. We need your support. If we are defeated today, it's over. Because this is the beginning of the muwahideen, and those who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give tawheed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you were seeking help and looking in the sky, in the heavens for help. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَكُمْ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to you and answered your plea and your call and your invocation. And Allah said, إِنِّي مُمِدُّكُمْ بِأَلْفٍ مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مُرْدِفِينَ, we're going to support you and strengthen you with 1,000 strong angels. And I said, the number is not what you should put in mind. One angel is enough. Jibreel alone is enough to make the difference. But the 1,000 is to boost the morale, to tell them that it's not just one, we can even send 1,000. So sometime in Quran, the issue of numbers should be understood. There are many books that talk about the miracle of numbers in the Quran. وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيَةٌ. There are 8 angels who are holding the throne of Allah. I mean, if you know the might of Allah, if you know all what and the books that were written about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge and might and powers and prowess and everything, you wouldn't imagine angels holding Allah. They can't. Simple put, they can't hold Allah. But the Quran said, وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ. They're holding the throne of Allah. So, what is the answer for that? The answer is that it is just decoration. You know, they're just holding, but Allah's power and mercy is holding them. You know, just some time, Wallahi al-matal ala, you tell your son, your daughter to lift a chair. You know she can, she's only 3-4 years old, and then you lift with her and she will feel like she's the one lifting it. You know? And you move around. Exactly. They cannot lift Allah. No way. That would be erroneous to think of that. But Allah's in the Quran, يَحْمِلُ. And the mercy and the power and everything of Allah is what is holding them. They have been held. And holding Allah. It's just decoration coming around Allah, you know, the throne of Allah, wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how Allah wants it. So this is how you understand this type of. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inni mumiddukum bi alfin. So Jibril alayhi salam can do things enough, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this as, you know, to give you sense of, you know. So the number in the Quran is very important. There are some few books talk about the miracle of numbers, and istaghfir lahum aw la tastaghfir lahum in tastaghfir lahum 70 marra. The word 7 and 70 is a rather miraculous in its meaning in the Quran. Sometimes it doesn't mean the number, it just means to big number. Something like if you slap me 70 times, I'm not going. I don't mean come and slap me 70 times in the other. I'm just saying, I mean, no matter how many times you slap me, I'm not doing it. So you mention the number, not to mean that because you want it. It's not about number, it's about as many times as the action could take place. So this is something else, we can talk about that one day, inshallah. But it's very important, something very, you would love to hear more about this in the Quran. A lot of numbers and miraculous numbers in the Quran. So Jibril alayhi salam could do the job. But the number is just to give Muslims the many. When you see, I mean, just like Kuffar Quraysh, that they have problem with the number too. Because the Prophet ﷺ was calling them to stop worshiping all these idols and what? Worship Allah. And they said, Muhammad, what are you talking about? We have over 300 idols. They have not even sufficed us. We couldn't get all of you want. And he wanted us to even cancel all these 300 and, you know, just 10 to 1. So they have problem in the numbers. The number works even for them. They think that it's about numbers. It's about who is doing what. It's not about the numbers. That's what they fail to understand. So Allah said, Inni mumiddukum bi alfin min al-malaikati murdifin wa ma ja'alahu Allah illa bushra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the number is just to give you glad tidings, to see a lot of angels. You know, we carry the day. Illa bushra, it was a matter of glad tidings. It's not about the number per se. وَلِتَطْمَئِنَّ بِهِ قُلُوبُكُمْ, and to have you, tranquility in your mind, to have peace of mind. وَمَنْ نَصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ, victory is only by Allah. إِن يَنْصُرْكُمُ اللَّهِ فَلَا غَالِبَ لَكُمْ. When Allah's victory is with you, no one can defeat you. It's not about how many is your people, your army. It's about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being with you, standing behind you. وَمَنْ نَصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. Aziz, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wise, is self-sufficient. Whatever Allah wants, He can do. That's Aziz. And the word Aziz came from Al-Ard al-Azaz, solid ground. The word Aziz, used in Arabic for something solid, unpenetrable. You cannot penetrate in it. Al-Ard al-Azaz, a solid and dried piece of land. You can't even dig in it. So Allah Aziz is so solid. No one can, defeat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can even come close. So that means He's wise. He knows what He's doing. And Hakim means wise. So Aziz, Allah is so self-sufficient and capable of doing whatever He wants. So the word Aziz cannot be put in one word in English. It has you can write sentences explaining that, because that is how you can look at it. Aziz in this way, Aziz in dealing with people, Aziz in dealing with enemies, Aziz in handling things, Aziz. It's not just one word. That is why Arabic is so special, and that's why Quran came with Arabic, because English cannot encompass all meanings of one Arabic word. So after that comes the benefit of the lesson from Badr, and then the benefit of also the lessons learned from the Ghazwat Uhud, which came later after that. Also, people not abiding by the command of the Prophet ﷺ, and in the end they did not carry the day. Many Muslims were killed in this battle, and but then Allah sent Quran to teach them, to show them the lesson that we can infer from this. And the Quran said, Al-Mu'minun, Muslims or believers are those who have the upper hand, even though in the face of defeat. Allah said, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Yani don't feel belittled. Don't feel that you are being weakened. And don't be sad. لا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون. You have the upper hand. You are the superior. إن كنتم مؤمنين, if only you are believers. So even in the face of defeats, Allah is what's giving them the needed boasts that you are not, weak, and you should not let sorrow and sadness to overcome you. You're very strong, and you have Allah behind you. What happened is because of your own mistakes, and we are doing the same mistake today. When Muslims are defeated everywhere, when Muslims are weak, when Muslims are not strong enough to even say what they want to say, do what they want to do, because of the way we handle things. If we are to go back to the core of Islam and understand Islam the best way, no one can defeat us. No one can defeat Muslims, because Allah will support you. But when, like Umar ibn Khattab said to the army, when he assembled the army, he told them that you are winning because of your piety. You're going to win the war because of your fear of Allah, because you're all God-fearing people. But when you become low in that, when your fear of Allah became low and less, then Allah is going to leave you with all, those who are going to fight. So the stronger gets the upper hand. The stronger wins at the end of the day. So if you are equally strong, then whoever is stronger is going to carry it. But if you have Iman, you have lethal weapon. Iman is unseen weapon. Because you have so many things that, in your mind, in your heart, in everything. You are 1,000 lions in one person. 1,000 lions in one person. So, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Al-Imran, ayah 139. And Allah reminded Muslims also that, he's sad, he looks so dejected because of the defeat. إِن يَمْسَسْكُمْ قَرْحٌ فَقَدْ مَسَّ الْقَوْمَ قَرْحٌ مِثْلُهُ. If something, unfortunate happened to you, it happened to other people too. You beat them, you show them the defeats in the first encounter. So qar'un means here wounds and the bitterness of defeat. If you are afflicted or affected by all these wounds and the bitterness of defeat, فَقَدْ مَسَّ الْقَوْمَ قَرْحٌ مِثْلُهُ. The same thing happened to the other people. And they didn't relax, they didn't run away, they didn't leave that legacy. They tried to overcome it and come back. And also, from the Ghazwat Badr, Allah Ta'ala reminded Muslim of the importance of the necessity of mihna. And the mihna means the hardship, the hard time. Am hasibtum an tadkhulul jannah walamma ya'lamu Allahu alladhina amanu minkum. Do you expect to just get the easy ride to Jannah, easy path to Jannah, without Allah Ta'ala distinguishing who is who? Allah knows, but you people have to know, the believers. Because as I said again, let's go back to always this era, we have munafiqs. The munafiqs have, started to emerge, and now not only emerge, but try to what? Divide and rule. Get Muslims weak. And a lot going on with Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. So, the Prophet ﷺ did not wage war on the munafiqs then, but they are among the Muslims trying to do so. It's time, sometime these people will be demarcated and be known to Muslims so that you know who you're dealing with. So a lot of these, lessons, actually were taught and learned from the wars that took place between Uhud and Badr and many other little battles. That's Hamra al-Asad, which came 3 months after the Badr. After 3 months, Muslims regrouped and chased Meccans to their shores of Mecca, until Americans make treaty and say no, we are not ready, because they just came out from fighting. They thought Muslims got some support from other camps. For Muslims to be defeated the way it happened in Badr, and for them to regroup and move to fight Americans again, they are like, we are not ready, and they help. They ask the Prophet ﷺ to, that they are not fighting, so that they are not ready. Not that they are not ready, but they just pleaded in a way that is it's a defeat. It's a psychological defeat to them. So this was irhas, a preparation for the birth of the final stage, according to the way Muhammad Munir al-Ghadwan, or Munir Muhammad al-Ghadwan, has arranged the book. The fifth phase is Fatrat al-Marhala al-Khamisa, Marhalat al-Jihad al-Siyasi wa Intisar al-Risala. That is the phase of political warfare, and then the triumphance or the victory of Islam. This is, in this chapter, the author was able to wrap up some very important points and features of this phase. Because the time of fear is over. The time of being weak and being underdog, the time of being uncounted is over. Now you are counted. You are being planned for. People count you on. People know that you exist, and people make 1,000 time calculation before they act upon you, because you are strong enough to defend yourself. So from this era, there are many things that happen. One of those things are Ijla al-Yahud an al-Madina ba'da hisarin. The Jewish community were forced out of Medina because of their conspiracy with the Meccans and the Meccan alliance in Medina to oust the Prophet ﷺ and to harm Islam and to make sure that Islam doesn't continue. So that is, they have been living with the Prophet ﷺ in harmony. Beginning of when Muhammad ﷺ moved to Medina, he didn't even think of anything bad about them at all, because they were living there before he moved to Medina. He knows that. But then they started to put their nose into the issue of Muslims, between Muslims and Muslims. Some of them trying to get some, and them two Muslims and the munafiqs, I mean, that's Muslims, so Munafiqs, a packet of Muslims, and then Muslims and those who are in alliance with the Meccans. So this happened not one, not two, not three, many times. They tried to kill the Prophet ﷺ. They even poisoned him. They gave him a lamb he ate, and it was all poisonous. And many attempts. So covertly and overtly, openly and secretly, it was a war. Because someone want to, get you. When George Bush, the father, according to the news, when he escaped the assassination attempt, when he went to Kuwait, what happened? Then President Clinton waged a war. I mean, he sent this tomahawk, whatever you call them, to strike, just because there was an intelligence information that there's a plot to attack or to assassinate. There's a plan to attack. Not that he wasn't attacked. An attempt. So what do you call it? Preemptive, what do you call it? Whatever name is aggression, because maybe it could not be true. And we have seen so many intelligence information became false and fake. But anyway, the issue here is that the Prophet ﷺ was the attempt to kill him. That didn't even, that he still said, man, you guys be cool, take things easy, let us live in harmony. The Yahud will go back and do many things. So in the end, the only way is to show them the red card, and they were forced out of Medina. Because it's either he fight them and they get killed, or they move to another place where they can live the way they want it. After time and time, after giving them chance after chance, after allowing them, after excusing them, all this didn't work. So this era saw and seen this time of Muhammad ﷺ and the Muslims not taking the easy route. Now you don't want to live in peace and harmony, you're out of here. The kuffar of Quraysh attacking Muslims, we are not going to be running around in our homes, we're going to go after you. So this is time of not fighting, but making sure that other people don't take you for a ride. They don't take you too light. They don't take you easy. They don't see you as being coward. So that is exactly what Muslims did. The era, this time, it was a time of strength, time of standing firm in the face of falsehood, and to tell everyone who think that you are an easy prey, that you are not easy prey, that you think you know and you're ready to stop anyone who wants to take you by surprise or by plan. So that is the time. This time is time of strength and time of war. And Muslims, the Prophet said to the companions, Al-an naghzuhum wa la yaghzuna. It's now time that we take the war to them, instead of waiting for them to come to take the war on us. So it is time for us to start with advancing, to to show the people that we cannot continue to be those who are defending, but we are ready to stop them so that they will respect. And this is happening today. When the US and Russia or the Soviet Union are the superpower, what happened, they divided the world, and they used all the powers and weaponry to silence everyone, for better or for worse, whether it's right or wrong. As long as the interest, their interest is on the threat, they will use everything to stop it. So sometimes this is understood if, for instance, aggression happened, but many a time it can be understood because it's just completely without any supportive evidence. So the Prophet said, we are not going to remain always defending and always having the trouble of having to defend. We are going to show the people that now we have enough fighters. We have strength enough to defend ourselves, so that the person will stop thinking to always come and and fight you and take you by surprise. So he knew that's what is waiting. So that's very important sometimes to show. That's why sometimes in the countries like some other countries, every year they will show the military parade. You know, it's not just military parade. They don't tell people that, no, we have these missiles. We're having this tomahawk too. It can reach you. You know, many people are doing it. If you go to Russia, they say they're doing it in Soviet, Iran, they will show and tell you this Hussein number 2 is coming. He can reach Los Angeles or something like that. So it's telling you that, you know, we have the capability to stop the aggression, to stop any invasion, to stop any thinking that could be meant to annihilate it. So the Prophet ﷺ took this strategy to, you know, but as Muhammad said, it wasn't aggressive for no reason. It was to prevent war by showing the strength, by making some advances into the territories of the enemy who already been planning to, and many wars happened. Khandaq happened, Ahzab happened, you know, all of these wars between and after Badr and Uhud, and many wars happened. So, which were all Muslims defending Ghazwat al-Khandaq. Meccans with their affiliates in Medina, the Jewish, all wanted to, Muhammad should go and enough is enough. The da'wah has to stop. And Muslims, you know, did everything they could, and they had advice. They have advisory council, and in the end they decided to dig the trench in order to protect Medina, to protect the women and children and old men who are weak, and all of this, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took over and give Muslims victory. So how long would you wait for people to attack you? How many trench would you build around Medina? So this era actually saw Muslims coming out of age, if you want, coming stronger, coming more energized, coming more organized, and taking the offensive, and not only the defensive. Offensive in the sense of taking, you know, as I said, showing the other side how much and how strong and how capable we are to defend ourselves, and if you want to live in peace. Otherwise, we can. So this is what is happening, and that is the characteristic of actually the major simats, the features of this era. Muslims becoming very, very strong, and of course, in the end, ultimately, it led toward the Fatih, the conquest of Mecca, where Islam was not only limited to Medina, became Mecca and Medina, and وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. So now,
the Jews, is this when they went to Khaybar? When they left Medina, they went to Khaybar?
Yeah, yeah. We moved to Medina to Khaybar. No.
What was the name and Arabic again of this phase?
The phase? Mm-hmm. This phase is مرحلة الجهاد السياسي وانتصار الرسالة. وانتصار الرسالة. الجهاد السياسي وانتصار. So that's the end when Muslims, no longer be considered, like a weak side, but a very strong force that can dictate what they want, or at least also have a say in the system of the peninsula, and to live in harmony and peace. And also this phase has seen another sima. One of the features of this phase also is at-tahaddi al-ma'nawi lil-mushrikeen, and I think I spoke about that. That is the moral challenge against the mushriks, the idol worshippers. It's not just, this time we said the Muslims came out of age, stronger, organized, ready, with well-trained fighters. But then it wasn't just fighting the fight, but also moral. It took what is known today as Harb al-A'sab, war of nerves, to show them that I'm ready. They always make their calculation for you. They just discard you in the equation. They think about you. They know this guy is not joking. I mean, Muhammad and the people, Muslims, cannot be taken for granted. So whatever they do, they add it into the plan. So it's harb al-asab, a war of nerves, to know that, I mean, Muslims can at any time retaliate if something harmful befell on Muslims. They won't let things just go the way others want. Then another feature of this phase is Hadith al-Ifk. Hadith al-Ifk. You all know about Hadith al-Ifk? Have you heard of it? About Aisha and... Hadith al-Ifk is what? The al-Ifk means the slander, not only slander, the major slander. إفك عظيم يعني خطأ الكذب. كذب in Arabic we have lie, كذب, and we have ifk. Ifk is even is even worse. The short and tall of this is, as Muhammad put it, that some munafiqs, it was a plot from the munafiqs, hypocrites. Of course, you know, they did all that they can to pull the Prophet ﷺ down. They couldn't. They did everything to pull the believers down. The believers continue to be stronger and stronger. And all they can do is, in between, like snakes and scorpions, who, you know, always harmful at night or secretly try to, you know, break Muslims apart. So our author is of the view that this slander was the work of hypocrites, but the issue became dramatically very dangerous because some Muslims, believers, joined the camp of this slander. They have also embraced it. Some of them were speculating the slander. Some of them also announced it, inform it to other people, and it was very, very ugly. The Prophet ﷺ was harmed. His wife, Aisha, was the center of this, all of this, and her father, Abu Bakr, and the believers. It was very ugly, but alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, it was Quran, it was Sama that, you know, give Aisha certificate of what? Bara'ah. What is Bara'ah? If you are being accused in the court, you are acquitted. Yeah, and that is not true. That didn't happen. You are, you know, you cleared from your, so it came from Allah. So sometimes when some of the our Christian people during the debate, or whether it is organized or unorganized debate, so sometimes they refer to that and call Aisha names and said she, you know, in the history it was reported that Aisha committed something that you Muslims don't want to call things by its names. So the very good way of da'wah, you don't have to be, you know, out of your mind and, you know, start outrageous fight or speaking. I mean, there's a way. Islam has a way for everything. I mean, you can say to them that, well, it is not only Aisha. Maryam was also accused. Maryam was accused and Aisha was accused. But the good news is Allah has cleared them both. Isa alayhi salam is the one who championed the issue of clearing his mother, and Allah from Sama is the one who cleared Aisha. So this is something that they need to know. And maybe we don't need to go deep into the issue of Jewish-Christian dialogue, or because the Jewish believe they still consider that as true, and that Isa alayhi salam is the son of Mary, I mean the son of adultery or something like that. And we Muslims don't believe in that. He's not, and she is never to be accused, but what Allah Ta'ala has given to her is miracle, and she was one of the best women ever evolved on the face of earth. So this is how sometimes we can take the debate from left to right and make it more friendly instead of taking the fight, because you need to know all this information to do that.
Can you write the phrase of the slander of Aisha in here?
Hadith al-Ifk in Arabic. Okay, Hadith al-Ifk, they call it in the history books. Hadith al-Ifk. So we have Fa and we have Kaf, Hadith al-Ifk. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa rahim Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. كما صليت ورحمت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. We give praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala time and again for all the blessings and Iman and Islam, and allowing us to continue to survive day in, day out. We can't be thankful enough to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we, inshallah, make intentions to continue to better our understanding the deen, and to spend or invest time in reading about Islam, about the Prophet ﷺ, in order to have better understanding of how this deen should be understood and believed by. It's not enough to be a Muslim. It's the beginning of a long, long journey. But it's very important and worth it to learn and to acquire knowledge. And among those vital knowledges is to know the biography of the Prophet ﷺ and how he handled things and how he managed the dawah. That is dawah. Getting out of poverty, building strong relationships, being nice to all human beings and humankind, regardless of their faith and their ethnicity, and it transcends all of this. That's Sharia. So if you fail to understand Sharia, that is your problem. It's not Sharia's problem, because you are not understanding, you are ignorant about what Sharia stands for. That is your problem. But if you want to speak for Sharia, read first about Sharia and just the label Sharia watch and blaming everything for Sharia. So Sharia means path, the best way by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for humans' best existence and survival in this dunya. We're all surviving, trying to survive. If you want to survive as a Muslim, if you want to survive, then Sharia is your path and Sharia is your way. So this was the case with Medinan era, and of course, it also witnessed the real clash between the believers and idol worshippers. Ghazwat Badr was the first, and followed by major other ones. There are small battles that is negative to non-Muslims, to some communities. To them, I say from this place that Sharia is not what you think. Sharia is never been condemned in one thing. Sharia means a way of life. Sharia means path, linguistically. A way. So it's a way of life, a way of living, a way of understanding, a way of relating to Allah, a way of relating to people, a way of peacemaking, a way of living a decent life and dying a decent death in order to prepare for a decent encounter with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is all Sharia is about. It's not just cutting the arm or, the hudud. Many people today think of Sharia to be hudud. the criminal, when the crime happened, the sentence, that is not Sharia. Sharia is about dealing with people in business. Sharia is how you live with your family, your wife, inheritance. Sharia is the relationship between the ruler and the ruled, between the have and have-nots, the rich and the poor, community building, neighborhood watch. Hypocrisy, that is nifaq, did not emerge in the Meccan era. It only emerged in the Medina. And the reason in Mecca, you don't have to be a Muslim anyway. Muslims were weak and were not strong, were underdog, were, looked upon as not a superpower or respected power or even fearful or dreadful side. But in Medina, the whole issue has changed. They became a powerful community, and not only that, a nation was born, and Islam has a say. Muslims were ruled under the Sharia, which is the real Sharia, which is, of course, the Sharia for all time. Sharia may be misunderstood based on how we implement things, but Sharia was always and will forever remain Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But understanding of individual based on some issues makes the Sharia sometimes not conforming with how it should be practiced. But Sharia is always the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is the guidelines for human beings. Sharia, which is being misunderstood, which is considered everywhere now, even to mention Sharia as something that is troublesome, something that is scary, something for management, if you want to consider this name. So last week we spoke about the intense time in Islam, very intensified when things moved from taking it cool and slow to confrontation and warfare. Confronting the Kuffar Quraysh, who were able to dig and have some alliances with the Kuffar, who are non-Muslims in the community of Medina, and also try to seduce the Jewish community in Medina to support them in a bid to assassinate the career of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was really a wishful thinking, and it didn't work because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used wisdom and understanding and always love and his compassion to bring back and peace between those who were almost listening to the hypocrites. So as we said,